Lunch Money Lambert, Jeff Malott. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Yeah. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation, where we talk about fishing and competition. It's your boy Ox Pippin, aka Ox Fishing. Don't come over here tripping. Hey, hope you enjoy the show. Jeff Malott, Lunch Money Lambert, Lego. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to KBN Live on a Tuesday. I almost said Monday, but we're on a Tuesday. We bumped it from Memorial Day. Hope everybody had a great Memorial Day. Ryan, how you doing? How was your Memorial?
We have mass confusion on the Tuesday go live.
Yeah, Tuesday. Is that played out yet?
No, it has not played out yet. We're gonna keep rolling with that.
Sketch is rolling. He's on every podcast in the world now.
Man, it's killing it just from acting a little suspect.
Acoustic? Acting acoustic?
Acting acoustic, yes.
Yeah.
Extremely acoustic young man.
Man, I know you had a good weekend. You got to see your Vols win the SEC baseball championship.
Buddy, I tell you what, we were sitting there Saturday night, and one of my buddies from Louisiana, Chris Sitton, texted me, and he's like, hey, if you want to meet me in Hoover, he's like, we can watch the game together. He's a huge LSU fan. And I looked at my daughter, and she's like, Dad, please. And she had like 2 volleyball practices on Sunday, and I made the executive decision to skip the volleyball practices, and I got in trouble for it. And I was like, who knows if we'll ever even be back in the SEC championship again? Like, she'll remember this one. We're going to go ahead and run it.
There you go. That's good. That's awesome. And congrats to them on winning it. That's Arkansas's future coach over there, Tony Vitello. He'll be over here.
No, he's booked up, brother. Sorry.
Yeah, we're going to have him in a few years. But anyway, that was cool. It was cool to see them win it. You know, the Vols are my other team when the Razorbacks be slipping up, so it was cool to see him win it.
That's what I told Kenzo. I was like, he's always an Arkansas fan till about 3 weeks into any season, and then it's the Vols.
Hey, we're still Arkansas's number 5 seed in the national deal. We're still in there. We're all right. But yeah, good weekend, man. I hope everybody enjoyed the weekend and also remembered what Memorial Day is all about. Giving honor to those that gave the ultimate sacrifice for our country. So if you're a veteran, shout out to you. If you're a family member of a fallen veteran or anything like that, we honor their sacrifice and appreciate everybody out there that has served. Man, we got hit in our area. I don't know if you saw the weather that came through here, but it was a rough weekend through northwest Arkansas, man, and parts of Missouri and Oklahoma.
Yep, it was big storm fronts rolling through. I mean, tons of thunder and lightning. I guess it was a lightning strike super close to the house, but at like 3:35 Monday morning, man, it sounded like something blew up, like actual explosion. I looked out and I was like, is this nuclear war? And then just went back to bed.
It was wild. We were out of town. We were up in Missouri, but back at home in Rogers, which is one of the main drag here in northwest Arkansas, tornado ripped through there and just wrecked an entire main road. All the businesses are messed up. There's power out all over the place still. It's no good. So. Was
it Sam Rayburn that got hit too? I saw something in Marina. I think it was Sam Rayburn.
Yeah, the marinas on Beaver Lake got wrecked. Sam Rayburn. There's another city in Texas. I forget the name. It starts with a C. That got hammered pretty good. Some places in Oklahoma. It was bad. It's bad weather week. It's been a bad weather spring. Iowa's been getting beat up. It's been rough out there in the nation. But tonight, if you guys watched last week, we had Barry Davis on talking about his runner-up finish at Guntersville. We were trying to have Eric on at the same time. Eric was caught up trying to handle business, buy a new truck. So the champ, Eric Siddiqi, is on tonight.
Boy, he had that money burning a hole in his pocket. He's like, shit, I got this big check. What do I spend it on? Oh, I'll go buy a new truck.
Yeah, man. So he tried to slide in right at the end last night, but it was like, man, we want to give him the time he deserves for winning that event. So we pumped it off till this week, till Tuesday, a special Tuesday show with Eric. So we'll get him on here in just a little bit, man. It's summer's here. I know tournaments kind of wind down a little, not the national tournaments when we got Cayuga for the BOS coming up this weekend, but it seems like attendance in general kind of falls off in the summer. What are you expecting this summer with the wild economy and the wild weather for some of these events?
I don't know. I mean, I think you're seeing a lot of hype on Cayuga right now. I know a lot of people are heading up there already. I think I think will pull in the hundreds. I think Susky, of course, man. Susky seems to always just draw a huge crowd. And if you've never fished it before, make the trip. If you fish it once, you'll want to fish it every time that tournament rolls around. So I think that one will pull. Obviously, we got Hobie Worlds coming up at the end of June on St. Clair. That's going to be that's the one I'm looking forward to the most, to be honest with you. Getting into that, but I think overall there's usually a lull in the schedules, and there should be, because you don't want to make people fish when the bite sucks. Chickamauga will be in September, kind of the end of the summer. I think that one will probably fish tough, but I think it'll pull numbers because people are trying to get their points in just to qualify for TOC.
Yep. We'll see how it goes, man. I know, we're speaking of attendance and how the tournaments have been looking. We didn't really mention it last week, but there was a big announcement the week before that KBF Trail shut down operations, after this year. And that speaks more to the consolidation that we talked about of attendance going into the Bassmaster Series and the BOS, right?
Hell, I thought it shut down 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Well, I mean, officially. I mean, it'd been kind of leaking oil and limping in here the last couple of years, but I was told time and time again that
here in the transmission.
Yeah, I was told time and time again that I was crazy for saying it was basically done for, that I was insane, but now it is officially done for. And they're going to focus more, which is probably smart, more on the online stuff in the regional, like one-off special events, and do their thing over there. So there you go. So now I can really say there's only 2 national trails going on right now. So there we go. And there always has been, at least for the last 3 years. And the original national series flamed out, which was Terry Manley and Robert Fields and the KBS. Rest in peace to the KBS. Love the KBS. And now the second one on the scene, right on the coattails of them, KBF has gone by the wayside, and now we're left with Bassmaster and BOS. Is there anything else that's going to pop its head up, you think? I know Native is doing their thing, and it is a series, but there's no AOI. It's one-off events, things like that. So anything else you think could rise up in the coming years?
I think with the economy the way it is, I think that's why you're seeing people kind of be more careful about where they're spending their money and how much travel time they have, that kind of thing. I think we're good with 2 right now. I'm not saying there's not room for something else to come in if it was really, really different. But I think we've talked about what it would take to kind of elevate the sport overall, and I think unless they do something like that, honestly, I think the resources that Bass and Hobie have and the guys they have running it, I don't think there's any need to look anywhere else. You got 2 people that really care about the game and do the absolute best for the anglers all the time. I mean, what else do you want out of it?
That's it. And there was an interesting stat brought up on Advanced Angler, Dan Perry's podcast over there, that looking at all the tournaments, all the, in quotes, national tournaments, if you compile all the names that fish them, it's actually in the 500s of unique names that fish more than one. So that means, you're kind of competing for the same people. So it makes sense there'd be kind of a consolidation.
And we see that like when certain events pop up, like when All American, popped up and had large attendance numbers. Wright Patman suffered. You're only pulling from so many people that can pack all their shit up and drive 8 or 10 hours to go fishing on a weekend. N8
Fishing and Music on YouTube said, I was in Branson for a family reunion. Were you there for that cornhole convention? I was there. It wasn't it was at the ACO major cornhole tournament in Branson. We were there anyway. We were going there to lay around the pool. But yes, there was a cornhole tournament there, and I played in the Friday night.
Did you throw in said cornhole tournament?
I did Friday night. I played in the blind draw Friday night. And then we hung out at the
you encountered the Tennessee Moonshine folks?
Yes. The guys, I told you I've been working with some guys on some bags last year when I was playing a lot. Those guys had a deal there, and then we got to talking, and yeah. They Almost got me in trouble with Ashley K, but it all worked out.
Well, it happens, brother. All right, let's thank our sponsors. Obviously, Eco Fishing Shop, our title sponsor. Thanks for making this happen. Anything you need in person or online, hit up Eco Fishing. They will ship it to your door, including kayaks, accessories, whatever you're looking for. Western Son Vodka, keep your cup full, keep us talking all night. And Gill Gear, giveaway partner, Revo, Seaguar, and Z-Man. We appreciate everybody that is affiliated with us and, of course, powered by ProGuide Lithium.
Amen. ProGuide. I actually rigged up a deal in my cornhole bag to put a GoPro attachment to my ProGuide battery so it could run all day. How about that?
There you go.
Not just for fishing. Throw it in the cornhole bag. But let's get Eric in here, man. He's been listening to us ramble too long, hasn't he?
Yeah. You don't want him to fall asleep or go work on
with the shades
Hey, what's going on?
What are you drinking, Spotted Cow?
Yep, you know me. Brought about 9 cases back the last time. When I get down to 1 or 2 cases, I start getting a little more picky with drinking them. So
yeah, man. The double. Everybody we've had on here lately, Ryan has got the double trophy setup going on us. Everybody that's come on.
I know, but not many of them have the the championship and then a tournament as well.
That's right.
Yeah, I won a couple good ones. I had to pull this one out of a box. I'm trying to find a house and had it packed up already, so I had to pull it out for this.
Where are you trying to move? You moving down to Tennessee? Staying in Ohio?
I'd like to, but I'm going to be staying in Ohio. Trying to keep the kids in the same school and all that.
Siddiqi's a working man now.
Yeah.
He got stuff to do.
I was starting to wonder if I could do both, but we might be all right.
Well, looks like you can. How many tournaments have you fished this year? Was this your third or second?
Third, I think. I had a 10 killer. Yeah. Wright Patman, Guntersville. I feel like there was another one, but
kind of
yeah, I just recently, just the last few. Yep. Been busy.
Yeah, and what happened with your Facebook? 'Cause I thought I was getting hacked when I got a request from you, man.
I don't know. It said something about somebody from Thailand's trying to log in. You got to change your password, and I changed it, and it worked. And then the next day, it was just gone completely. And I couldn't do anything. They don't have a customer service. You just got to send an email and hope they fix it. And I just finally gave up on it. So, and then I made one, and then it told me to make a second one because one was they're different. I don't know. So there's 2 of them now.
And I was like, "Is this you or what's happening?" Right?
I don't know.
What's happening?
I don't know.
Yeah. I just decided to start from scratch.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
It's a brand new day, Siddiqi. Brand new day.
Right.
Eric, you're no stranger to cashing checks, winning tournaments. You've done plenty. You've had plenty of success over the years. But what does it mean to get that second blue trophy up there to kind of validate? Not that you needed your championship to be validated, but to put another notch on that blue trophy belt up there behind you.
Yeah, this one meant a lot, especially with the field we were fishing against and being on Guntersville. 211 people. It was a pretty big one, especially to win it the way I did. I used to love fishing ledges on Kentucky Lake and stuff, and I just got that live scope. I picked it up at Dugout and had them rig me up, and I was kind of considering in the morning of the first day going for some shallow fish that I had that were pretty big, but I realized I was gonna have to give up like 2 hours to do it, so I decided I've been playing Nintendo too long, time to take out the PS5 and go sit on a ledge all day and see how it goes, so and ended up working out, but Lambert was out there with me. It wasn't easy. I probably had 6 to 8 bites each day, something like that. So it was a grind all day.
A little background on how that took place. Naturally, we went out and shot pool till the wee hours of the morning, and then went back home and sat and drank in the living room. And I was like, I said, I'm thinking about going out and checking this ledge spot, whatever. And Siddiqi names a different ramp than where this ledge spot was at. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I just won't go there. So I go out and find these fish on a ledge, and I'm like, hell yeah, like they're stacked out here. As I'm coming back to the ramp on the last day of practice, I passed Siddiqi going out there, and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, is that where you're at? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I just figured I said too much when we were drinking. I was like, oh, whatever. I
No,
don't care.
you
I mean,
said about
invited
2
Christine to
reps
come out and
up,
do
and
some
that's
fishing. I mean, how ledges go anyways. If you get on a
I
good
know.
spot, to keep the school fired up, it's not, a bad thing necessarily, so it doesn't really bother me to have somebody
So
out there.
day
Plus,
one goes
it was
through.
obviously when I found it, it became obvious pretty quick that it was a community hole. So
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I
it
mean,
didn't
there were
bother me to
5 or 6
have,
boats that pulled up on it.
yeah, somebody to help keep them off. I mean, you saw it the first day. What a guy come out and drop drop 2 anchors and 5 lines with live bait around where you just caught your fish.
So day one, I go up in the river and I'm trying to get on these fish that we've been on pretty hard. And I'm going to move and I check the leaderboard and Siddiqi's name is not on there. So I'm like, because he talked about going and starting shallow. I was like, maybe he went and started shallow and just had the same luck I did. So I hurry up and bust ass and I get all the way out there in that old town. I'll look, and there's Siddiqi sitting there. I was like, son of a bitch. And I was like, do you have any fish? He's like, oh, yeah, I got 92 inches. And I was like, well, that's fantastic. So I throw out and catch a 19 like immediately. And I mean, there's a lot of fish there. And I was like, oh, it's going to be fine. Whatever. If I can catch 18s and 19s all day, we're good. This dude, and Siddiqi sees him, it's this old man in a bass boat. He has the cover off his motor, and he starts it up with a screwdriver and has the throttle wide open and goes, wah, and motors in between me and Siddiqi, drops 2 anchors off the front and back and throws out 5 lines with live bait around the school of fish. And I'm like, what is happening right now? This has got to be a joke. But Siddiqi had figured something out a little different, a little off of where like the main school of fish was. And I'll let you go into detail on how you put that together, and even more amazing, how you caught the fish.
Yeah, well, when I was in practice and sitting out there was 4 or 5 boats around me on that point. It's a pretty big point. There's a lot of room there, so I mean, both sides seem to have fish on it. They're off the edge. In the morning, they pulled over on top of it. But I had 4 or 5 boats around me at one point in the day, and just went back to looking at the map and saw this kind of subtle hump out in front of it, and 30 foot, and pulled out there, and I caught a 6-pounder off it in practice, and saw there was some more there, so I felt pretty good about it. And actually, in the evening that day in practice, I had a school of 5-6 pounders come up busting bait, toward the end of the day. So I knew there was a lot of good ones there. And tournament day, I just they didn't seem to be on in the morning, but in the morning there was thousands of white bass that would pull up on it, and they were busting bait. And there was bass mixed in. I'd see them, but it was hard to catch them with all the white bass you were getting. I just ended up just calling through white bass, just casting out. I was throwing shower blows. Whenever I'd catch one, I'd just get it in real quick, take it off, and just cast again, and just kind of keep fishing. I was trying to use a live scope to see if I could mark some bigger marks. In the morning, the first day, I got a 20 and a quarter, I think was my first fish, largemouth, and then my next fish was a 18 and a quarter spot. So that was pretty cool fish to have. I didn't know there was spots really that good out there, and then kind of just grinded the rest of the day. I ended up the point comes up, and then there's some grass on top, so I ended up going and catching later in the day like a 15 and a half or something, just to try to fill the limit. And then as soon as I caught it, a boat pulls right over the top of it and drops anchor, and both of them start dragging worms. So I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm going back out here. And end of the day, around, I think probably around 11 on the first day, I went out there and marked some fish, and I ended up catching 20 and a quarter, I think it was, and a 20 and a half off that spot. And I was just throwing a Nico, and I just wanted to throw something where I wasn't getting a lot of bites. I wanted the exposed hook and just something I could get a good hook set, get a good hook in them. Didn't want to throw anything with trebles or anything like that. I don't really like doing that anyways, but they weren't really going for a jig or, any kind of Carolina rig or anything like that. So I just went light on them and tried to cast it out, get in the right spot, and then kind of let the current drift it over that hump. And that was what was able to get them. And most of them I didn't even feel them bite. I was just, every once in a while I would twitch it or pop it, and then I would feel one on and I'd set the hook, and that's kind of how I was getting them. But yeah, that second day was was tough. I pulled off to the side and marked some fish and was trying to fill a limit, real quick, and had some smaller ones. I actually had a 19.5 inch spot in the morning on a shower blows, but that was the only one I got, which kind of blew me away. But that thing had to be at least 4 pounds. It was pretty impressive. But so I pull out to the end of the point and I hook into a fish around 9 o'clock, and it's had to be around 21. I'll say I got it. Came up, rolled it about 50 yards, and just kind of stayed on top. I reel it to me. I get it to me, grab the net, go to net it, and it comes up, shakes, and just goes down right at the tip of the net. And that one hurt, man. It it had me messed up. I didn't fish right for a couple hours after that. I don't know. It was hard. It was a hard one to shake because I knew. I know it's hard to win losing fish like that, and especially only having four. It really kind of got to me. And when Lambert came out there later, and he knew I only had four, and I was stressing. I was like, I don't know for sure I'll be able to get five. I'm just gonna keep grinding it out. And the eelgrass that was blowing over that spot on that second day was making things really frustrating. Like it was it was frustrating.
So they had like these big lawnmowers or something out there, like chopping up all the eelgrass. And it wasn't just shallow eelgrass either. Like they were out in deeper water just chopping all this up. So you just had rafts of eelgrass washing down the whole time. So we sat out there for a while, and it was clear that they were not fired up. I mean, it was a really tough bite. And I was like, man, I'm out of here. Like, I ain't going to sit out here when you got four fish. And if you need one more is the difference between winning. I was like, I'm going to go shallow and mess around. I can't watch that go down that way.
Yeah, I ended up pulling out around noon when the sun got up, pulling back out to that hump. I saw some fish there, cast out, fished a little bit, and hooked into just a big one. And I played them for a while. I ended up, after losing that big one, I was like, I'm not going to rush this one in. I'm just going to let him tire itself out. And when I got it, when I was getting it closer, the wind starts blowing and turning me. So I kicked the pedal with my right foot, kicked the rudder this way to turn myself and turn it off real quick, and then went back to fighting it and was able to get it in. And all the guys that were on that ledge behind me knew about it when I landed that one because it was my fifth fish and it was a big one. And they all knew. And so the boat right behind me is fishing this grass patch that is blown up. The two guys on it, they're like, "Are you still throwing a drop shot in 30 out there?" I was like, "Well, it's a Nico rig actually." And they were like, "Yeah, we saw you out here doing that yesterday. When you got off the water, we caught 15 or 20 on that spot." I was like, "Oh, thanks. No, why would you even tell me that? I don't even want to know that." Like, that's good. I don't need to know that. But after I measured that fish, yeah, after I measured that fish and looked up, there's a huge like football field size patch of eelgrass that is blown over this spot, and there's just no way for me to fish it. But as much as I'd fished around the area, I knew that was where I needed to be. So. But there was no way I was going to be able to throw Nico the way it was. So I just kind of stood up and tried to see if I could see where maybe it ended. And I noticed that I could see, with the wind blowing, I could see chop on the water where there was no eelgrass, and everywhere there was eelgrass, it was just calm. So I could see where it was kind of ending, and there was a big gap, kind of it looked like a channel that was coming towards me. So I just sat there and waited for about 15, 20 minutes and waited for it to come over the spot. And it finally came over, made a cast, and hooked into one and ended up being a 20, and that's the one that won it. And after that, I never got to make another cast at it, but I didn't need to, I guess, so worked out.
Let me ask y'all something, man. Eric, you lost a fish and kept your head, but how do you keep your head on a community hole like that? I mean, you can't play like defense on a community hole. That's why it's called a community. Everybody knows about it. There's a lot of boat traffic in there. How does that work? And Ryan, on Guntersville, I mean, you know about that lake. How do you deal with that? You just accept that before you even hit the water? Yeah,
pretty much. You just have to accept it. And the thing about boaters is like they'll stop there, but most of the time they won't stay long. So they'll be gone, and then you'll have times out there where there's nobody around you, and then you'll have times out there where there's 5 or 6 boats around you. But just kind of just accept that you're gonna have people around you all day, and people are gonna cast over your line and pull on your spot when you catch one, and all that type of stuff. That happens. I mean,
have y'all noticed any
Siddiqui
improvement?
said, a lot of them are stopping through, and most of those guys were live scoping. So they were fishing honestly a lot more shallow than where I had been getting bit anyway. They were kind of up on top of the hump, and
Right.
it didn't seem like there were that many bass that were up on top of the hump. So I don't know what they were casting at, but most of the bass were way off the point on kind of the channel edge, more traditional setup, ledge fishing wise.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, I had
I've
one on
noticed any-
Kentucky Lake one time wind in a buoy. I mean, I was out there fishing a ledge, just caught one, measure it. I turn around and this guy's winding in my buoy, and I go up and I'm like, hey, that's my buoy, and he's like, no, it's mine. I'm like, but it's mine though. You just saw me catch a fish off it. He's like, no, I know it's mine because mine's yellow. I'm like, the buoy you're holding is orange, and he's like, no, it's yellow. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to get shot out here, so whatever. So glad we don't have to use buoys anymore. I'll say that.
I was going to ask if y'all noticed any the more kayak fishing has gotten on, more consistently on these big name brand bodies of water, if you will, like Guntersville and Chickamauga and these other places, are boaters being more used to giving you the same kind of whatever manners, leeway, whatever you want to call it, out there on the water, same kind of courtesy? Are they more used to that? Because I feel like when we first started, like boaters would just pull up and they just ignore that a kayak was there. Has it become better, or is it still the same, you think?
I think you have a little bit of both. I think a lot of times now they know that we could catch them, so they see a kayaker out somewhere, they know there's probably a fish there, so they're going to come over and check it out. You know what I mean? There's probably a fish there because we're not out there for no reason, because it's not as easy for us to run around as it is them. So I think they know that now.
I think you're seeing too a lot of the tournament guys, especially, they know what's going on. Like a lot of them came up asking, are you fishing that Bassmaster tournament this weekend? Like they're aware of why there's so many kayaks at every ramp that they go to, during the day. So again, like the old guy that pulled up in between us and anchored down, I don't think he had a clue or gave a shit what was going on. He did not care what was happening out there. He was coming to load the boat with fish to eat. He could care less, what we had going. But most of the tournament guys are, I think, a lot more respectful now because they've seen, seen the media coverage, they've seen the tournaments, they've seen the amount of money that it's paying out. I think that kind of garnered a lot more respect and professionalism out of them.
I found an exclusive pic of that guy, Ryan. Look, there he is. Pulled right up on you.
Yeah.
That's the woodchuck himself right there.
Yeah. Morning of the first day before Lambert got out there, this guy goes, so you fishing a tournament? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, well, I'm not, so I'm throwing live bait. I was like, sweet. Just watched him catch a few. It's like,
that afternoon, that dude that came up and threw out all those live bait, there was another guy just to the left of that was live scoping with live bait. Like he didn't come out for any kind of challenge. I don't know. Like, I guess he ran out of dynamite, but he was like, I ain't taking any chances today, boy. Swim
like
that minnow right in front of it.
Yeah. Ultimate combo of old school and new school. Live bait with a live scope. Wow. That's wild. Let's see here. Josh Evans had a comment. He said, one of kayak fishing's best anglers and worst truck parkers. What's he talking about with that, Eric?
I have no idea.
He told the story.
That could mean a lot of things, honestly.
He said, I'm talking about a couple years ago at Sam Rayburn. He parked at the end of a single dirt road in the middle of the launch. I just parked in front of him and launched anyway. Remember when Rayburn was flooded? That's when you hooked that dog in the butthole, Jeff.
Yeah.
I do remember that. Actually, at that one, I was fishing right there, so I let everybody else that was there launch first. They all went out, and I was just fishing that road. It was covered by trees all the way down. It was about a 100-yard stretch. And when I came back from fishing in practice, I was just wearing them out in there. So I was like, I'm just let everybody launch and let them go. And then as soon as they all launched, I just fished right down that stretch the whole day, both days.
Yeah, I launched there too. I think, what Joey Vaughn, you fishing in there with you? Is that the right spot, maybe?
No, nobody was fishing it with me. It was, I think Pendergraph launched there.
Okay, a lot of roads are flooded, so there's probably multiple spots like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so that's all he's talking about there. Any other questions for Eric? Throw them in the comments. We'll get them to him. So Were you leaderboard watching during the tournament, man? Did you think you had in the bag? You saw Barry Davis made a big move. There were other guys making big moves. Did you think you had the dub when the day was over?
There wasn't really any time when I thought I had it in the bag until maybe at the end when I knew I'd taken the lead, so I knew there was a chance. But I still thought that fish I lost was going to cost me the win. You know,
I
I didn't
called him
really.
at the end of the day because, like I said, I was sweating because I hate when somebody's in a position to win a big tournament like that. Like I don't, I don't want to do anything to screw it up. So I call him at the end of the day. I'm like, please tell me you got your fifth fish, and he's like, oh, I got a 20 and a half and a 22 or whatever. I was like, hell yeah, and he's like, I think I at least got second, and I'm like, well, hell, I'm not great at math, but I think you got. I think you got first. And I didn't know till that afternoon. You know, I didn't know till it was live how it actually played out.
I didn't know until they called. Was it 9 when I was sitting up there with him and Barry and I was like, if they call 9, then I knew I got Barry because when I got there, I asked who was it? It was in fourth. I asked somebody. I was like, well, did you upgrade or whatever? And then Barry goes, no, I got him by an inch. I don't know if anybody that got me yet. And I was thinking, well, I know somebody that got you, but I don't know if I should tell you. Maybe let him have it for a little bit longer. I felt kind of bad, but he was when it was just me and him up there. I think he knew I was fourth when the leaderboard went off, and it was me and him standing up there. And he goes, "You got me, didn't you, son of a bitch?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got you." So yeah, it was pretty cool.
I wish you could have been on here with Barry because Barry was hilarious. Like Barry's a character anyway.
Yeah,
Barry
right.
was absolutely hilarious. My dad texted me and he's like, "That boy's wild," and I was like, "Dude, you have no idea. You should see him in a kilt." Like
yeah, right.
He's just out there living, baby.
Any old white boy with a mohawk, you got to watch out for.
Fair point.
What was your favorite part of this tournament? Was it winning the tournament or scooters?
It's a tough call. Scooters was pretty fun. Man, it took everything I had not to go there Saturday night, but I was like, I told you, I was like, man, I'm gonna have to give this spot a fair shot. I was like, if I go out tonight, I will not be out there when the tournament starts in the morning. So I was a good boy.
It's probably a good call.
Yeah. Then I'm getting
I know you guys kind of talked about what happened on your spot with the eelgrass and a little bit of change on day 2, but there was a big change on the leaderboard from day 1 to day 2. A few folks that had huge day 1s kind of fell off on day 2. What do you think the overall difference was between the 2 days, man?
Well, I don't know what everybody else was on or what they were fishing. I know Amar said he felt like he kind of got lucky in his area, and they weren't really there the second day. I think it was, I don't know. I mean, I think it's just probably the pressure with all the boats and everything. The eelgrass was definitely everywhere on that second day, which would, kind of change things in a lot of areas. It definitely made it harder to fish my spot, but so that could have played a part. I wasn't really chasing, fishing shallow, chasing fish. I was just kind of sitting back, kind of waiting for them and picking my spots. So
yeah, I was going to say, I wonder if a lot of folks, if you were fishing shallow, the fish were probably heading towards you. They certainly weren't wanting to stay back shallow. Right.
Yeah. Once I realized they were pretty much done spawning,
They were definitely done spawn. Like I said, I mean, they spawned nearly over a month ago. So, that logically would tell you there's going to be a lot of fish that are already heading out toward the ledges. But Guntersville is one of those lakes where you can go and you can catch 25 pounds pretty much year round in 6 feet or less of water. Like there's always shallow fish in Guntersville. I think the cloud cover that we had on Saturday played a part in it. I think some of those guys were on fish that were pulled distant as far as current and flow goes. We had plenty of current both days. Like they were running a lot of water through the dam. They didn't let out as much on the first day, but that second day there was a pretty fair amount of current coming down.
Hmm. At the end of that first day, after I caught those two 20s on that spot, I had a waypoint next to me, so I knew where I needed to be because I didn't want to get too close to it. I tried to stay off it a bit. And I look over, and I was having the pedal or motor to kind of hold my position. And I realized, I wasn't moving at all now. And I look at the live skip and I watch these fish as the current stops. And I watch them all just kind of rise up off the bottom, and they just suspend in 15 foot, just like that. And, I'd never seen that before because I'd never used live scope, really. I mean, I've used subpar, crappy scope, but not not what I'm using now. So,
Oh boy.
sorry.
Yeah,
That's what it is. It's completely different. This is completely different than I've ever seen before. I was pretty amazed by what I could see.
Yeah, we've heard that before. You learn fish behavior as much as you do catching them, right?
Yeah, it was pretty cool just to be out there
biggest
fishing
advantage
deep
to
and
it.
seeing that.
Yeah.
Is seeing how they relate to the bottom or to current or even to your bait, how they react to your bait coming through. Because when I went out there pre-fishing that Thursday or Friday, whatever, they were chasing a chatterbait literally all the way up to the boat, like all the way to the boat before they would turn back on it. And you can watch them from 30 feet of water the whole way up just chasing a chatterbait. It's insane.
Got a little Z-Man giveaway tonight. I'm throwing the banners up in the below the pictures here, just so you can see what you need to do to get in on the giveaway. So make sure you hit the like, share, comment to get in on the Z-Man giveaway. We're streaming to all the places we're giving it away tonight. So Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X/Twitter. Get in on that over there. Hopefully by next week we have an extra giveaway to throw on top of that. We're still working out the final details, but we'll get that going too. If you got any questions for Eric, please throw them in the comments. It looks like you're not heading to Cayuga this week, huh, Eric, for the BOS?
I am. That's the plan.
Oh.
I was thinking about leaving out tonight, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. We'll see. I took the kids fishing today, so they've been begging me to go. So if I go, it looks like I'll get maybe a day and a half practice. But I fished it last year, so I kind of have an idea about the lake.
Yeah.
I can't ignore Billy anymore. Billy just threw up this hashtag PP arm. And,
what's going on with that?
Well, you're about to find out.
Ugh.
And he made another reference to some drawing, some artwork that was done on young Billy. So Billy made a comment on the podcast. He was staying in our house about how he was going to put me to bed every night we were out there. So he didn't, needless to say. And Siddiqi came over and did put me to bed because I had already been up all night trying to beat Billy. Siddiqi comes and I go to bed and I hear like Siddiqi rummaging around for another 20 or 30 minutes. And Siddiqi, tell us what happened. What were you up to in that 20 to 30 minutes in the house?
I don't remember much.
Apparently there was a Sharpie involved and some artwork.
I remember wanting to let him know that he got put to bed. He made the mistake of getting up while me and Lambert were still sitting up and letting me know where he was sleeping at. So we'll just say that.
So when I first read that, I thought he got bit by a jellyfish or something. I didn't know what was going on.
It would be better if he got bit by a jellyfish, to be honest with you. So I talked to Billy, and then Siddiqi calls me the next day, and he's like, was Billy mad at you? Did he think you did that? And I still didn't know what he was talking about. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, oh, dude, I drew all over him with a Sharpie. And I was like, yeah, he didn't mention that. So I guess
we put you to bed and all this stuff on there, and I figured he would said something.
Bless him.
He didn't. Yeah, I think you hurt the man, Siddiqi.
Yeah.
I think you hurt him.
Well, he didn't fish the tournament, so I guess that says it all.
Oh boy. Is there a better city in the country for kayak bass anglers? Kurt Smits, Eric Siddiqi, and so many others. Can we come up with a top 10 best cities for kayak bass anglers list? I would have to think the greater Nashville area has got to be up there with Russ and Reiser. Josh Sharp, those guys right there. I think probably the Dallas-Fort Worth area probably has a claim to that with Scotch and Guillermo. But you do tend to see concentrations of good anglers, in different areas of the country. I don't know if it's coincidence or, because they're fishing against each other all the time.
I wonder if is it from a talent perspective, what you just listed off makes sense, but I wonder if he means from a access to water perspective. It'd be hard to beat over there.
I don't think Cincinnati has amazing access to water. I'm no geography expert, but I've driven through Cincinnati and I drove really fast, so I didn't have to stop.
Well, I shouldn't say what he meant, but what if we were framing that question differently? The best city for a kayak angler to live for access to water, where would that be, y'all think?
Not here.
Dude, I would have to say North Alabama. I don't know. I mean, I could be biased, but I think that North Alabama, Pickwick, Guntersville, Chickamauga, Smith Lake, that area, I mean, the Coosa chain, I think that would probably be prime time.
Yeah, that's good. All of Texas, North Alabama. Well, not all of Texas.
No shit. I mean, Texas, buddy, golly.
Yeah.
Like, you can throw a rock and hit a 10-pounder in Texas. I can't catch one, but you can hit them with a rock.
I think a riser spent a couple weeks down there fishing this past month, and he was like, they're just spoiled down there, man.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Texas DNR has done such a phenomenal job, and I hope that we see some of these other, Tennessee now has the Bill Dance initiative, but I don't know that they're incorporating like an actual breeding program. And I don't know that you can in the Tennessee River, right? Because it's all connected. Like, you can't just focus necessarily on one lake or the other. We've seen them introduce Florida strain at different lakes at different times. I think that plays a big effect, but I don't think it's as consolidated as what Texas has in their reservoirs.
We're talking about it this week. I think Guntersville would be ridiculous if it had the same slot as Lake Fork.
Blake,
sorry.
Abby.
We're too good, Jeff. We're too damn good. Go ahead.
Damn it, Blake. We're bass fishermen here. Kayak bass anglers.
Yeah.
So get out of here with your
I don't know. Ain't nobody give a damn about none of that, pal. I'll take a peacock bass. I like a peacock bass.
Shane Williams.
That's live bait. I watched people do that this week.
Right, Ryan? Old Shane, he catch them in the river.
Yeah, Shane will catch them in the river. He caught a sailfish in Middle Georgia.
Off a motorcycle.
On a motorcycle.
Catch them in Danville.
Yeah, get out of here with that.
Oh my God.
If you're just talking straight up kayak fishing, yes, Florida would be right there. It's maybe the spot, but yeah, we're talking kayak bass anglers, kayak bass fishing, if you will. Yeah, Florida's awesome. I haven't done much fishing down in Florida, to be honest, and we've talked many times about more tournaments kicking off the year or more, getting deeper down into Florida. But what do y'all think? Would that pull numbers? If somebody went way down to Okeechobee or down far in South Florida to open the season? It's too far.
I don't know. Yeah, it's out of the way.
Yeah.
I think
it would depend on the time of year.
I think so many people focus on saltwater fishing in Florida. You don't pull that big local demographic like you do in, say, Alabama or Texas, where you have this huge influx, for these tournaments. I think every year everyone's looking forward to that first tournament. So that's why you see like Harris Chain or Kissimmee or whatever blow up, because everybody's sitting in the house all winter. They're just ready to get out and fish. But I think if you move it too far outside of that first tournament zone, I think it's going to hurt numbers, more so than be a tourist draw, so to speak.
No. Yeah. The same.
Hey.
Wait a minute, Blake.
Yeah. I was going to say the same thing.
I like you, pal. I like you, Blake. You're throwing cuss words out here now.
I think he's just making a rhyme.
People use up their vacation time and all that stuff, and Florida's a long way, so.
Yeah. I mean, there's talks of the majors going back out to Cali, South Florida. I mean, way up northeast. I mean, those places are awesome. It's not, Cayuga. I mean, I've never been there, but I've heard many people, once they go there, it's like, this is the best place to go fishing ever. They love it up there. So it's just geographically tough in a lot of
It's a pretty cool place. Just don't fish any marinas.
Is it illegal? Or get shot there? What happened?
Yeah.
Well, So I think
taxed?
there's some
What
that
happened?
might be off limits, or maybe not. Who knows? But lessons learned.
Seems most of them are in New York.
Okay. Got to pay an extra excise tax.
Don't
for
bring
that.
any assault rods with you. Be careful
No
of
bla-
that. You gotta
no
watch
black
your
rods.
weaponry in New York.
Bless them.
Hoping there's some
Blake, I'm
smallmouth
gonna
on
be
beds.
down,
I'm gonna.
Well, I think the timing for that's going to be pretty good, right?
Should be. I mean, I think it's a couple weeks earlier than it was last year, and the pros, the elites, hit it like on the head last year. So I was kind of hoping it'd be like that, but we'll see.
Yeah. What's it going to take? What you think?
I think it'll take 95 a day.
Fair.
I think that's a safe bet.
Yeah.
It may. I mean, if they really are on beds, I think it'll go over that.
Yeah, it might be more.
But I think 95 a day is a pretty safe bet on that one. We're getting some questions, Jeff.
I'm trying to.
Blake,
pull
I'm
some
going to be
more.
down in your neck of the woods in 2 weeks, pal. Be down in Orlando, so we got to get together for dinner or a sailfish or something down there.
We got one from Top Shelf, man, from YouTube. Doesn't California have weird rules like number of? I don't know about number of rods. I know you got to get boat inspections and pay like part of your paycheck to fish each lake each time, but I don't know. I don't know about the rod numbers.
I think they,
Speaking of-
they all have to have permits and everything for every single tournament at every lake that they do. I'm pretty sure out there.
You were talking about Worlds, Lambert. I've already got Europeans asking me for tips for St. Clair.
Just tell them to take that L kindly and go their ass back home. We're holding down North America over here, baby. Don't be giving up that juice, Siddiqi. I know you got a history on St. Clair. You've clapped a couple times up there, but don't do it.
Well, I told them since I got the snub, I would go up there and train them all.
You got the snub? Are you not on the World's team this year?
No.
They put somebody's kid on it for no reason. How'd you know?
I saw that. Yeah. I was well, back for the old Border City Classic. It was first top placing American, top placing Canadian. I was American was first. I was second. Canadian was third. First and third got the invite, and then first ended up going. So I felt like that should have rolled to me.
Yeah.
And I never got it. So I was like, I feel like I'm due one, but I don't think they want me on St. Clair.
Okay.
I want
no
you
hate.
on St. Clair.
I'll take it as a compliment.
I want you on St. Clair in a USA jersey, pal.
Yeah, man. No hate here. He's probably a fine young man. I just thought it as odd as, we got the Bassmaster champ sitting over here on the sidelines. What the heck?
Right.
I will say, I don't know. I mean, I think the team qualifying process is like, you see some other countries and there's not really a qualifying process, but some of them are super strict, like Australia. Like if you don't qualify through that Brim series or whatever, it does not matter what what you're bringing to the table or who's watching. Like if you don't qualify, you're at the house. So that is
as far as I know, it's the
point.
Yeah, the Americans and the Australians are the only ones that actually have any kind of qualification for it, from what I've seen.
I think the French, because I remember Minot, I think she didn't qualify for this year, but I remember that that discussion that she didn't qualify on this one.
What? So you're just saying a lot of the other countries just
They
handpick
get
them
invite.
straight up?
Yeah.
Okay, we could probably do that here. I mean, hell, I don't know.
We should start like a Bass Fishing USA trail and just set up our own worlds.
I wanted to start a universal.
Sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, never mind.
I wanted to
They
start
already did that shit.
champions of the universe is what I wanted to start myself. I want to go big. You know what I mean?
There
Go
you go.
bigger.
I like that. I like that. I'll sign off on that.
Hey, I saw this comment from Derek Bushnell on YouTube. It said Blanchard smashed on the latest video at Koga. Are you telling me Greg made the trip cross country? Is he back on the scene?
Greg, yeah, I was gonna say Greg's originally from New York. That's
Yeah,
where he
yeah,
kinda
but,
got his start before he moved to Cali. So I wouldn't be shocked if you saw Greg out there making some noise.
Yeah. Justin Ridnour on YouTube said, bring back the top 25 and pick from that. Strange story on that, Justin. When I was doing the top 25, I actually talked to the USA Bassin guy, and he used that as a guide for one of the first iterations of that, which was funny to me. Or said he was going to use it. I don't know how much he used it, but we tried.
I've heard Blanchard might give us a run for our money. I've heard he could go out and have a good time and get out the next day and kill it.
Blanchard,
that for a couple of years.
The only time I've really got to hang out with him late was that first national championship that we did in Shreveport, and we had a lot of the Cali guys in the house with us, and Greg came over and a bunch of the Dark Horse crew who were sponsored by Sierra Nevada, so they brought truckloads of beer to the house, and we had a fantastic afternoon. I will say he does not shy away from a good time, and I love that about him.
Yeah, I mean, people are, if you're a kayak bass fisherman, you know Greg Blanchard from YouTube and stuff, but for a few years there, he was traveling more and fishing more national events and was cracking heads and everywhere that he went. He just doesn't seem like he's gotten out of Cali as much. So now that I see he's going to be on Cayuga, expect him up there in the top 10.
He was on stage with me when I won this one.
Yeah, but I mean, think about on average, he's not making the trip to most of these events in the central U.S., just like most of the Cali guys don't. Except Anthony Garcia. That dude fishes everything. Him and Damian Tao.
Not only fishes everything, cashes checks, and Damian Tao as well. Like those guys, I mean, they're fishy dudes. Like you drop them off on a body of water, and they'll figure something out. And usually, what they figure out is something that they're more comfortable with from back home. Like they're not trying to do what the hot bite on the lake is or whatever. They just take what they know and apply it to whatever body of water they're on.
Yeah. And, Cali being big KBN fans, we want to make sure we give them the respect out there. A lot of great anglers out there on the West Coast.
More tattoos popping up every day.
That's right, man. None but love for you out there. Yeah. Any questions for Eric before we let him get out of here? Please drop them in the comments. I don't see anything from the Allen brothers tonight because I assume they're watching the Mavs play, which I'll be doing after we're done with this. Trying to close them out. I'm thinking about mortgaging the house, Ryan, and going to a finals game because it's so close to the house. I may never had another chance to do that.
Look at you go, Jeff.
If the Mavs finish this off, that'd be legit, wouldn't it?
Do that. We'll do another run of KBN t-shirts, and that should pay for your popcorn.
Yeah.
I mean, Cowboys made a lot of moves this season, so you got that to look forward to.
They could go to anything, and I wouldn't go to that, so don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Not a Cowboys fan.
The Cowboys are why most of Texas is LeBron fans. That explains their mentality.
Bless them. We got Houston now. Texans. Texans rise.
Blake's got a serious question for you, Siddiqi. He's going up to fish Cayuga this time. What was the comment about not fishing marinas at Cayuga? So tell him that story.
Just stay out of them. Even if you don't see a sign, just assume you can't fish in there. That's pretty much a good rule of thumb.
A lot of the marinas are off limits. That wasn't a joking statement. A lot of those marinas are off limits. Some of them are very well posted. Some of them may not be posted at all. But just always check with your TD just in case, and make sure you're not going to get DQ'd after you smash a bunch of fish.
Yeah, me and Abby were in one last year, and it was loaded. And neither one of us ever saw a sign. I was only there one day. He pre-fished there all week, and I guess they said there was a boat covering up a sign in there, which I even went there and walked around and never saw one. And yeah, got a call from AJ probably 3 hours into the tournament. Let us know that none of those fish counted. So
now did that DQ just your day one?
Yeah, it was everything I caught in there, and then kind of just had to start over. But
dang, brutal. There you go, Blake.
It happens.
Enter the marinas at your own risk.
Here we go.
Another
good question.
Damn it, Ryan, we're too quick on it.
Sorry,
Jinxie.
Jeff.
Jinxie. We're jinxing it up tonight. You read it, man.
Well, okay, I will now. Siddiqi, what tips do you have for someone looking to get into tournament fishing?
Oh man.
Don't.
Well,
If you like fishing, don't.
Depends what you're getting into it for. When I started, I was getting into it just so I could, have an excuse to go fish all these lakes I always wanted to fish. It's hard to be like, see you later, babe. I'm leaving to go to Guntersville for a week. But if there's a chance to win money, then, it kind of goes over a little more smooth. You have to win every once in a while for that to keep being okay. Or
Yeah, it's not okay.
it ends
It's
up
not
not
okay
going as
anymore.
smooth again. But but that was my reason to start doing it. So I think it depends on why you want to do it. I mean, just start fishing. Just pick out some lakes you think you want to fish, or places that you think would play to your strengths, and go fish a few and see how it goes.
Top shelf, man. Talking about get used to
Jeff,
giving other people your money. Did
that's-
we do it again? Did we double click it?
Yeah, it's the third time tonight that we've done that.
We're on the same
That's
algorithm.
a solid point. Like you can't go into these, especially starting out. You can't go into these tournaments being down on yourself if you don't do well. Like it's not number one. Fishing is not easy. Period. Right? Like you can't. Nobody can control the fish. You can try to learn things that stack the odds in your favor. But I'll tell you, for my own personal perspective, going to these fishing tournaments is as much about seeing my friends and hanging out and socializing. Like the stuff that the stuff that we've gotten into. I mean, even this year alone, but just between PK and Guntersville has trumped any
That's the
amount
stuff
of
I
money
remember
that
as
you
much
can
as
win
anything.
in a fishing
Right.
tournament. Dude,
I think
mean,
my favorite
that
tournament day
part-
was that day one at PK.
100%.
My
Like
favorite
Siddiqi on
tournament
the
day this
grill,
year.
everybody
It was
throwing
great.
cornhole. Like, I mean, that's the stuff. Like, you get to see people that you. I mean, the only times that we see each other are on the road for these tournaments and stuff. And it's kind of like, I mean, it's your road family, man. It's like, a family reunion. You go see, your goofy cousin out there and, hang out all night, and hopefully everybody survives. But you got to find all of the highlights of it to make it worth the investment, because you're going to drop $1,000 or more at all these tournaments. Like between entry fees and travel and everything, like just go ahead and light $1,000 on fire. But you got to find the parts that make it worth it to you.
That's right. And the look on people's face when you go out and drink and have a good time every night, and then turn around and end up first place in the tournament with the biggest bass anybody's ever seen caught out of that area, that look is priceless.
That's the part I can wrap my head around everybody catching how they catch them, and they're they figure out the fish and they do, but I can't wrap my head around you boys that do what you do. So hats off.
That was a reference to Cody Milton at Lacrosse last year, and needs to get back to kayak fishing. And I just had a good time all week at Lacrosse because I love it there. Fished for 3 hours, pre-fished on Monday for 3 hours, and then get back on the water the rest of the week. And Friday night before the tournament, I'm rigging stuff up, getting ready, and Cody comes over and he goes, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Just tying some leaders, rigging up some stuff." He's like, "Why?" He's like, "Why are you trying now? It doesn't make sense to try now." I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, my fish are there. I don't think anybody found them. It's Lacrosse. There's fish everywhere. I'll be fine." He's like, "It doesn't make sense to try now." And then I went out there and caught that 22 and a quarter and had 93 something inches in first place after the first day. I couldn't wait to call him when the when the tournament was over that day. I was like, "Yeah, it doesn't make sense to try now. Huh? I've been trying to get you to come out and have a drink with me all week."
Are you
He's
telling
like,
me
"When
that's
I
why?
saw that, I was so happy." I was like,
Are you telling me that's why he
so-
switched to pickleball because of that?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Siddiqi
You made him
ran
switch
out
to
of
pickleball?
kayak
Is that what
He
fishing.
came and stayed with me a couple weeks ago and fished a pickleball tournament, or fished it,
What?
played a pickleball tournament.
I mean, from what you said about
Had
his
a good
finish,
time.
he fished a pickleball
Yeah.
tournament. He brought a damn ultralight out there. He didn't bring his
Yeah.
pickleball paddle.
Right.
Damn it. Poor old Cody.
Oof.
Are we going to see him back soon? Is he going to fish a time or two this summer, maybe? Or no?
I
is
think
he-
he's gonna
is he all
go.
in?
He was talking about going to Italy or whatever, but that's
Maybe he'll get added to Hobie Worlds here late.
How can you be? That's my. And we talked about this. How can
Yeah.
you be that freaking good at fishing? I mean, just naturally, I mean, killer. Like one of the most consistent anglers that I think we have ever in the sport, period, and be like, I'm done with this. I'm gonna put my short shorts on and go out here and pickleball. Like, that is crazy to walk away from. I mean, he was knocking down probably on average 25 or 30 grand a year just doing kayak fishing tournaments alone,
Right.
every single year.
I don't understand it.
The kid was an elite golfer before, probably still an elite golfer if he wants to try. So it sounds like he maybe just needs new challenges.
Just likes a challenge.
A competitor like that, you just like new challenges. Yeah.
Yep.
And he's
It's like
still
Jordan
young.
going to
How old's Cody
baseball, I
now?
guess, huh?
Yeah. How old's Cody now? How old is he? So he's young
Probably
enough
around
to still
30,
try
I
some
would
shit
guess.
yeah, he's still
Yeah.
young enough to try some shit
He's
like
young.
that. So he'll be back to fishing once the knees give out or he gets a Ryan Lambert Achilles injury. He'll be back to fishing.
You hush. I'm back. I'm back, baby. We got out in the yard and played soccer the other night. Kenzo challenged me to a foot race. Had to duster. I'm back. Don't worry about me.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry, man.
All right.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Stay ready.
Yeah. Well, Eric, man, well done on the blue trophy up there, man. Glad to see
Thank
you back
you.
fishing this year. Glad to see you up there burning up the roads. Hope you can go up there and get it done on Cayuga this week, man.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Feels good. Now I got a new
keep
truck
that
and a
streak
new
going.
trailer to go with it, so I don't have to worry about breaking down on the road. It'll be good. It's gonna be a good year.
We'll see how long that new truck stays new.
I've been washing it every day. I'm trying.
I can't wait to see the first thing you run over in that sucker.
Well, that dent in the front of that Silverado was from a stump at the Airbnb at Cayuga, so I don't know. I'll do my best.
Be careful. Be careful up there in New York. Them stumps are slippery. They're slippery.
They'll get you.
Well, we're gonna get the giveaway going, man. We'll let you slide out of here. Like I said, appreciate
All right.
the time and good luck.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man.
Congrats again, buddy. Had a blast hanging out, shooting
Yeah.
pool, and
It
talking
was a good
shit
time.
and all the other stuff that we always seem to find ourselves
Yep.
in.
Looking forward to the next one.
All right, Eric. See you, buddy.
All right, later,
All right.
homie. Good luck.
Later. All right. Thanks.
Eric Siddiqi, everybody. Give it up for Eric.
Man, his cash
All right.
checks all over the
What
place in about every freaking thing. Like, he's a fish catching dude.
I had the wrong hashtag, Ryan. Now I got it.
Hashtag
fixed.
slippery. We're getting some guesses up in here now.
Evo, the new chatterbait from Z-Man. It's a Z-Man giveaway tonight.
Hey,
Evo.
Oh,
Evo. I had put a
sorry,
I put
all
a
you
C in
people
there by
typing
accident.
Eco.
That was a faux pas.
Eco's for our hybrid, our Subaru hybrid.
That's for our other sponsor, Eco Fishing.
Yeah.
So hit that Evo.
Yeah, we're getting
Come back with the Evo. I just put a C in by accident. That was fun, man. He's a real one, man. He's one of those guys. He's from your tree where you guys can have fun at night and still show up somehow and catch fish. It's crazy. I don't know how y'all do that.
Dude, we have done this literally around the world now.
Yeah.
I'll give Siddiqi a lot of credit. He is one of the few that will hang in there for the whole thing. Like, he ain't quitting until you're done. So it was good. Honestly, it was good to see him win that. And like I said, man, just being there and being on that school and them not firing on that day too. I was like, man, I can't, I feel like you're a bad person, honestly.
Yeah.
If you sit there and somebody's got 4 fish and they can win the whole thing and you sit there and keep fishing the same fish. So I'm glad he pulled it off. Maybe happy to see it. I don't like losing anywhere, especially on Guntersville. But I am super, super happy that it was Siddiqi that won it. And also that we got that time that week to hang out and shoot pool. And if you don't know a lot about Siddiqi, he's a pool shark as well. So pretty much anything competitive you can draw him into with a little bit of trash talk.
There you go, man. There you go. Let's get this giveaway done. We got about half the viewers in there. We've had a pretty good crowd tonight for a Tuesday night.
One question for you, Jeff. Are you coming to Susky? I
No.
want to know this as well.
No, I'm not.
Okay. Nope, he's not.
No, I'm not.
All right.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I've condensed the bubble of where I will travel to.
Okay.
Let's see
that's
here.
fair.
Let's get this giveaway done. Here we go. Slow roll, drum roll. See what's going to be tonight. For a Z-Man pack, Ethan. No, Garen Butler on YouTube. There you go,
Garen
Garen.
Butler. All right. Garen,
If you have-
DM me with your info. I have, I think now about 4 Z-Man prize packs to send out. There's been some vacations and whatnot at Z-Man. So if you'll DM me your info, I'll send all of those over tomorrow. Seaguar winners, your packs are going out as well. Brian's back from vacation. So we will be squared up. Josh, let me know where we're staying, because I turned down Abby on a house because I said I gotta stay with my boys from the north. So you let me know what we're getting into.
There we go. Hey, and if you're a YouTube only and don't have like a Facebook or whatever, you can email kayakbassnation@gmail.com and I'll get that over to Ryan as well.
Yeah.
So there we go. Good show, man.
Yep, always. Hey,
Go
what
watch him,
are you
Luca.
doing next week? You want to run it
I
back
don't know.
next week, you think?
Maybe Monday night. I say we do it next week.
Let's try it. I've got like a 6-hour meeting tomorrow, so I'm going to go take a nap.
Cool. All right. Appreciate y'all. Later.
Later.